Hello everyone, this is Ben.
And this is Dominic.
Hi, and this is the second episode that we are doing, and this is the a series that we have been that we are trying to create, in which we talk about paintball. So, thus the series called Let's Talk Paintball with Ben. And for today, episode 2, we are talking about
what I did after my first game.
Right. So if you have watched the first episode, we started off by describing and sharing our experiences on how we started playing paintball. And in the second episode, which is today, we are going to talk about after that, what did we do, right? So let's start with you. What do you do after playing your very first game?
Yeah. So after my first game, I was hooked. I was loving the game. I wanted to play more. I wanted to look at gear. So you went online, you searched, what do you buy first? For first game, but I want to buy everything actually. But of course, money constraints and the budgeting wise, I think for most people you get the mask first, because the first experience as well, playing at the field, having a rental mask, you can't. There's going to be scratches on the mask. It's not that comfortable. And so the first thing I bought was the paintball mask.
Yeah, so there are basically two groups of people. First group of people who have played paintball, then they realize it's a super fun game. Mm-hmm. Then they said, okay, now I want to increase my experience in playing my next game. So they go and look for a mask. Right? There's also another group of people that will buy a mask first because they know that, for some hygiene reasons, I don't want to be sharing masks with other people.
Yeah.
So I want to have my very own, and therefore they buy a mask even before they play. So in the case of Dominic and myself, it's the same. We played our first game, and then we realized that actually we want to have our very own mask.
Yeah.
I think more for me is because I can see that the experienced player somehow seems to have better looking masks.
Mm-hmm.
So like a rental mask is always black, it's always a single pan, and then you have a lot of fogging.
Yes.
And this is the case for most of the paintball centers around the world. Then for me, it was a case of I was attracted to the color. Let's be honest. I see people wearing red color masks, white masks, yellow masks, green masks. So I said, okay, I wanted something for myself, and I didn't want a black mask, and therefore I purchased my own very first mask.
Yeah.
For me, I didn't get my mask immediately after the first game. In fact, I wasn't even attracted to the game at all. That wasn't how I got. If you have watched episode 1, I was playing my very first game in Sydney, and then after that I graduated. I came back. I didn't even touch paintball for almost like 1 year, 2 years. It didn't occur to me that paintball was something that I can play regularly.
Right.
So it wasn't until very much later I was introduced to the game. Then I realized that actually there's such a thing known as speedball. Mm-hmm. And then I start venturing out to wanting to purchase my very own mask. Of course, like yourself, I did a lot of research. I'm sure it's the same for everyone online. We read the reviews, we start to study who's wearing what, and then which one is the best brand, and then we have very little information, because you notice that the very atas mask, if I can say, costs you a few $100, right? And then the very basic mask costs you like $30. Mm-hmm. So as a new player, to be honest, I really cannot differentiate what is the better mask for me. Why is it that one mask costs $100 over, the other mask costs $30 over? So that was my experience, and the more I read into it, the more questions came up, like what's the difference, like in terms of pricing, and then where can I get it? Could it be different in terms of material? So for me, my very first mask, I bought it at the shop. Okay, I bought it at the shop. How about you?
Same for me as well. I think definitely for my first game, one of the things that I noticed was the fogging, because I sweat a lot. I get very heated, I sweat a lot, so the fogging came in, even though it wasn't I can't remember whether it rained before that, but definitely I experienced fogging, and I really wanted to get rid of that. So not knowing that, now we know that there's such thing as thermal lens. By the time I was looking at anti-fog spray, anti-fog, using a speed, I was researching how do you stop this from fogging. I also went to the shop. I bought on the shop. I tried it out. I got some assistance from the sales lady. So it was good.
At this shop?
Yeah.
I make some money off this guy again. Oh, good. Okay. So this guy was once my customer. For me, I bought my first mask in Malaysia because those days there was no pro shop around Asia. I think the closest pro shop that we have from Singapore to Malaysia was all the way in KL. There wasn't any shop in Johor, Malacca, no.
Yeah.
So we had to go all the way to KL, and it was through. I didn't even know there was a pro shop. It was through this gentleman. His name is Rayson. So Rayson from Malaysia. In fact, I played my very first speedball game with Rayson, right? Raysonik, and he brought me to this shop called Wona Hall. It's in Malaysia, and of course it was run by Andrew. For those guys who know, Andrew from Malaysia was the owner of the shop, and Patrick owns the shop as well. So we went to his shop not knowing what to get, you know, and then I went with Jane and we bought our very first mask with him. It's quite expensive, I can remember. It was I think it was at least easily close to 600 over ringgit. Yeah, and those days, 10 years ago, you know, to buy that mask at that price, it was like quite high for us. I really.
What mask was it?
It was a profiler, V-Force profiler. In fact, there wasn't many choices, right? In fact, we go to the shop not knowing what to get, but we knew that we wanted the mask. When we walked in, Andrew came to us, attended to us, and he said, "Oh, guys, you should get this mask." And little did I know that actually the profiler was quite an old model. But Jane got lucky. Yeah, but it's still around, you know, it's like an evergreen mask. Jane got lucky, Jane got herself an i3 Pro, right? And died. And I think because we are from the team Red 7, so we wanted anything red, but there wasn't much choices for us, so she ended up getting an olive mask for herself.
Right.
But for those guys who know about the i3, right, the Dye i3 Pro, you know that it's actually a finger killing mask. You have to remove the mask, and then you have to remove the lens from the mask. Your fingers will hurt. Put it this way, your fingers will hurt, and there's a specific way of removing it, and not many people know about it. But Andrew sold her the mask. She bought the mask. And that was how we got our very first mask.
Yeah, I remember my first mask was a Sly Profit.
Yeah,
and at the time, just starting, I still don't know about speedball yet, so I was still tactical. So my mask was like,
what color was it?
I think olive, like a bronze
olive,
kind of color. Yeah, and then so
good choice actually, because olive you can play tactical game.
Yeah, you can do.
And then you can do a bit of speedball, right?
But then of course later on, I figured out that. It's really a comfortable mask.
It's very comfortable.
It's super
it's very comfortable.
Your whole head feels like you're wrapped in a pillow.
Yeah, it's just that probably there's too much foam in there.
Yes, correct. It's very hard to hear anyone, and when you shout, you kind of
you can
get trapped inside.
I think you can hear everyone. It's just not sure that they can hear you, because it's so.
So it's hard to hear everyone.
It's hard to hear everyone.
Yeah, okay. Trying to hear someone from the opposite side.
Okay,
it's very hard.
So that was the experience that we have buying our own mask. Yeah. In fact, the profiler is still around. You know, the i3 Pro has already gone on to i4 and now even i5. And technology keep changing, and better technology is being put into the mask. So that was my very first mask. After that, what do you do?
After that, well, straight after the first game, I knew that I want to play more. So I was asking my brother-in-law, I was saying, when's the next game? And they was like, I don't know, maybe we play once a month or twice a month. So I was eager to keep on playing. So I went online, I was searching for other paintball communities, and I actually at that time I asked Thomas Lee. Yeah, Thomas Lee. Because I saw that he was playing and he was like in national team.
National team, wow.
Yeah, I saw the Singapore team, and then Thomas was there. Okay, so I asked him. Where do I play? How do I get into this sport? Yeah. So he actually directed me to this group online, which actually goes to Malaysia to play. Okay. So I started playing with them. I went out. But playing in Malaysia is a full day event. Okay. Right? Morning you wake up, you drive in, you carpool, you eat breakfast, you play, you eat lunch, you come back. Across the jam, it's like even.
That's good and bad.
Yeah, it was very.
I'm sure the food is like amazing. Yes. After games, like let's lepak and
then massive.
And then you just eat before you come back, right?
Correct.
But once you encounter the jam, then you go like, maybe I've wasted too much time.
Yeah, but it was enjoyable. Yeah. But I wanted more. I wanted to play like every week. I was so into it. I just wanted to play and play and play.
Okay.
So then that led me to speedball.
Okay. All right. So for me. After getting my very first mask, I immediately went to a paintball field. Right. So that field was called Cobra Field. right? It's they call it Astaka Cobra Field.
Where is that?
It's one of the MYMPL home ground in the past, so it's no longer around.
Somewhere in Malaysia.
Yeah, somewhere in Malaysia. It's no longer around, but if you go to KL and you tell people about the Cobra Field, everyone will know. Because it's a very famous rugby field for all I know.
Right.
So we went there with Jane. Of course, I think one of the most common thing that a beginner will do is that even though I didn't play my first game, I was sitting outside watching some games. But in the field, people were just shooting paints, right? So some of the paints splatter onto my mask. Then I have to be like very careful, like you know, like a genie, like a genie bottle.
Oh my God,
so like one dot only, you go, this is not good. Then you started wiping, making sure that it's clean. Then the next minute you watch the game, they pop another spot. Then you're like, somehow it's just that you're quite OCD, I say.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, mine's not cheap as well.
Yeah. So it's like you carefully wipe it like a genie bottle. I think those were the fun days, like of us exploring the sport in our own rights, right? If I can say. So we went there and we played. We walked around actually. We didn't really play. In fact, I didn't really play my very first speedball game. I didn't know what speedball was. So I knew that I wanted to try speedball, but I had no idea what speedball was. So the very first speedball game was, of course, with Racing. And I always say this to many people, and some of y'all might have heard this before. Racing came up to us. It was in another field actually. So he came up to us, and then he said, "Oh, you guys are from Singapore? Jane and Ben. Okay, sure. Come. 2 against 1." I was like, "What the hell? 2 against 1?" I said, "Hey, I've gone through military training, you know, right?" And then 2 versus 1, surely. And Jane herself, she's a athlete, right? She plays in the national football team, and then she's gung ho and she can shoot. So I was like, "Wait, this Rayson, he was a bit lancy right? The Malaysians like to call it lancy. So a bit lancy. I was like, what the hell? 2 against 1? Okay, sure, no problem. Alright, so we went in, and then he started. He said, okay, on my command, we start the game. So I said, okay, sure.
So this was speedball.
Speedball
Field.
Speedball bunkers. I didn't know
first
what.
time.
Yeah, my very first speedball game. So I went in with Jane and myself on one side, and then Rayson was on the other side. He do a crash course for us, like, hey guys, this is a rule, barrel must touch here, you know, those kind of thing. On my count, go! So the minute he said, game on! Then I was like, okay, hey. Suddenly, right, he's like a ninja, he went to ninja mode. I saw him at the starting frame, next minute, like, he was gone now. I was like, hey, what the hell is this guy? So I couldn't, and I didn't know commands of the field. So like, Jane, do you see him? No, he's there. Where is he?
9 o'clock.
Next minute, you know, this guy pop up like on the side of us, like shot myself and Jane, like, what the hell? How did he transport? Like teleport, you know, like some sort of teleporting, you know, from like shapeshifter, you know, from one side, like disappear, and then till next minute, on the side. So like, what the hell? Wow. At that moment, right, this guy was my Michael Jordan for paintball. Yeah, he was my Tiger Woods, my Michael Jordan, Michael Phelps. He was like the all-star. And immediately I said, I need to learn from this guy. Okay, so then he said, hey guys, want to play another game? Okay lah, now I know it, right? This shapeshifter guy is gonna like teleport in front of me. So we started another game, we lost. So immediately we lost 2 games. I think he hardly shot 10 balls. Yeah.
He just ran down.
He just. I saw him at the starting frame. Next minute he's gone, and then suddenly appeared in front of me. So it was Racenic who introduced us to the game.
Okay, and at this point, speedball was non-existent in Singapore.
Zero speedball. There was no speedball. There was no speedball at all.
There was no Red Dynasty.
No Red Dynasty at all. It was just us playing paintball game. I will share with everyone how did I get into contact with speedball. So there must be a reason how we met Rayson. Yeah. Right, but that was my very first speedball game, and then immediately after that, we went to participate in a speedball clinic.
Okay.
All right, and those older guys, you remember that long time ago, the contract killers came down. So Chris Cochino, Tom Martinez,
US
Nick
pro
Fields, a few US pros came down. Nice. And then and Nicky Cooper, and then they wanted to show the Asians how paintball is being played. So we went there, not knowing anything about paintball. And that was how we started. We basically have a mask, you know, somebody passed us a gun. And then, of course, as most new players would do, the very first time you hold a paintball gun, you want to take a picture with the paintball gun.
Definitely.
Regardless of the model, regardless of how how stinky, how old, how round down the gun is, you want to take a paintball, a picture of the paintball gun.
Yeah,
so that's what we did,
and your gear, and your
yeah, and my gear and my mask.
jersey,
So Jen and I had like a gallery of 100 over photos of us holding the guns, like
pose.
yeah, put the mask up, and then like James Bond and all the poses that we did. So that was how we started. Yeah.
Cool. For me also, how I got into speedball was I wanted to play more, so I actually went to Red Dynasty. At the time, that was the kind of the only choice. So, and then I actually went for a clinic also.
Yeah.
But it was a Paint for Glory clinic.
Okay.
So Paint for Glory is a local team here in Singapore, which kind of the team disbanded, but the players are still playing. They formed another team.
Right.
And yeah, so that was my first clinic from just a local team, and they taught me a lot of things. I'm still in contact with them, and and thank you so much, the P4G.
I think the for beginners, right? Maybe what I can do is, instead of going out, of course there's a self-exploration period that you can do as much. You can find out more from the internet. You can talk to people, but the real thing is really getting down to doing it. And the best way to do it is to go through a clinic, right? Like ourselves, the very first clinic, we went there, and then Nicky Cooper said, "Hey guys, make sure your pots are filled with paints. Make sure you have your harness." And then Jane and I look at one another like, "What the hell is a pot?"
Yeah.
So we didn't even know what a pot is. We didn't know what a harness was for. So, but through that clinic, we knew things like rapidly. It was like almost speed fast. We thought we knew everything. We went in, and then we learned even more. So
it will just blow your mind.
Yeah. So
much.
Yeah, even the bunker name,
so
bunker
much.
codes, and things like that. Like it was a different dimension. And then we never looked back. Since then we started forming our own team, and then we just went all the way. And even up to today, we are still playing the game.
Yeah. I think from the first time you start till even now, there's always so much more to learn about the game. Whether it's strategy or it's playing style, or it's always, even a pro player can tell you that he's still learning.
Yeah,
he's still figuring things out.
That's right.
It's continuous.
That's right. It's constant learning. Because the game situation differ every time you enter the field. Different teammates, different situation. Sometimes you get a good opponent, sometimes you get an average opponent, sometimes you get a few beginners coming to play with you. So the experience changes, and it takes time for you to realize this. It's not like, okay, Dom, make sure you don't gunfight, and then next minute okay. It takes you a while to understand why is it that you don't gunfight in the paintball game.
I think we're jumping a bit.
Okay.
Let's leave that to the front.
Okay.
What I wanted to mention about, so first few things that you think about is, I want a gun, right? Everyone wants a gun. Like, so just to mention, from my experience, when I started looking at gear, there's a lot of things to purchase to get to that stage, and I'm not sure where you're watching this from, but usually there's a Division 4, there's a rookie challenge where you can join, and then there's a Division 4 which
beginner's game.
Yeah, and then there is Division 4 which is mechanical paintballs, which usually is just rented at the field. So, and then with that you still need to buy all the gear. You can buy all the gear, which is gonna cost you quite a sum. So for me, that's the route that I took, buying all of my gear first, and then looking at purchasing a marker for myself.
Yeah, but you guys are lucky because you have so many options now. Anyone who wants to come in immediately, you say, "Oh, I want to get a paintball gun," he gets a very good electronic marker. Our time, when we first started, everyone was playing with mechanical gun.
Yeah.
When we first came in, the e-marker trend was only just starting. So e-marker was new. Everyone was like, "Oh, what the hell is an e-marker?" Alright. So, and then of course there were not many high level entry guns because they were all just starting off. Constantly they were breaking down. Parts were not working, and then people were trying to figure out how come the marker wasn't working. So there was a lot of question mark for us. My first marker was bought in Malaysia. It was one of the best marker I think that it's like, if I can put a term to it, I think the name of the gun is called Smart Part Ion. So Smart Part was a very big paintball company in the past.
Right.
They came out with an electronic gun. It's called the Ion. For those who know, the Ion is the most customizable paintball gun ever in the whole world, even up to today. Because there are so many aftermarket parts that you can buy that you can put together this gun. And to me it's like a Lego gun. You know Lego, you put everything,
Yeah.
then ta-da, you have a like
Mix
gun.
and
Yeah.
match, you know, all
So
different colours.
the Ion was actually one of the very first marker that I had, and it gives me a lot of knowledge into understanding the gun, because the gun alone is made to be broken apart
Yeah.
because of the aftermarket parts.
Correct.
So when you break everything apart, you have to put everything back in, right?
You
That's
start
where
learning.
you start learning.
Correct.
Nowadays, paintball guns doesn't come in that manner.
You just buy used.
Yeah, you just buy the gun, you know, take it out from the box, and then you can shoot. You can start killing people, like shooting people. But those days, understanding how a gun works matters a lot,
Yeah.
right? And that was how I started. That was my first paintball gun, and of course, many people will know about my famous drop forward, which we will show you in this video. We'll try and pull up some old photos to show you how my old Ion looks like. It's hideous. Yeah, it's not very nice looking, but
I'm sure at that point in time you.
yeah. To me, that was
it was the best.
that was the
gun
best ever paintball gun
That
ever.
was my
Yeah,
gun.
I used it less than a year, and then the whole thing just break apart, and then and then I have to like
We
go
don't
and-
see. I've not seen this guy yet. But
yeah. That was the smart part Ion. Okay, so that's all that we have for this episode. Alright, do join us, because subsequently we're gonna have another 8 more episodes that we're gonna talk about paintball. Basically, it's us talking about our experience about playing paintball, and hopefully through this series, these episodes, you can also pick up some tips from us, things that we have encountered in the past that you don't want to go down that route. Things that you can hear, and basically it's about talking and sharing about our paintball journey as well. Alright, anything else to add, Doc?
That's it.
Alright, so if not, then we'll see you next time, episode 3. This is Ben.
This Dom.
Okay, we're logging out. Bye bye.